Transportation is the leading worst thing in Kenya that it may promote culture ya hongo. Me, I can say this. Take the money off the transportation. Equal cashless. Nobody should touch money. Konda sishike money, Dera sishike money. And then cops are sishike money out. The cops, the only thing they do, the issue tickets. You have to take the money out. Once there's money in there, there will be corruption. Nakupata some bills or tatu that yacha naenda. Your idea to have your cash needs to go away out of transportation. And then to build on top of it, na build on top of it. And he could build equal independent from the government. Because the moment is not independent from the government ingine inakama ina change. Inasema kumbe u prezo alikuwa more favorable to watu wana hizo masacres. So anakuja scrap the system. We never built on top of Michukis. School of transportation. Akaanza kuambia watu valia uniform kaona nobody built on it. Akaleta safety belt, nobody built on it. So the idea, we have the ideas, implementing is the problem. And after implementing, are we building on top of them? That's another problem. Ideas are good, but put them in practical, that's when it's bad. Everybody has an idea. That's it. TM, una anything?
So me nikataka ku respond to, you're right. Change is inevitable, and you can only prolong the inevitable for too long. But again, also change is not an immediate thing. You see, that is also another problem that we had. We expected that when we asked certain people, everything all of a sudden it had changed to now things will start working, now things will be perfect. No. Change is progressive, step by step until now you end up getting to the point of what it is you want. So change needs to take step by step, yes. And number two, hata tukieka Gen Z, like you've said, it's true. They want, either they go and get corrupted in, just like the way people have been seeing them talking about the new CSAs that have in place right now, the new ones. If them up there, they're not given an ultimatum to change and to serve the people, let me tell you, even the cabinet shuffling was just but a waste of time. Because let me tell you, they'll go there with all the ambition they have, with all the hope they have to serve the people. But what will happen? They'll go and get corrupted and also go in bed with the same thing we have been fighting against. So there is nothing that is going to change, and that is why I keep pushing for the fact that this needs to become everyone's business. Let's not be pessimistic that it cannot be done, that nothing can change if we decide to give them an ultimatum. And that is why I keep on pushing for a conversation. It might not be today or tomorrow or maybe even time, but we need to be able to have people involved in what is done in their counties. You see, right now we're not involved in what is being done in the county. When the appropriation bill is done before the Finance Act is now brought to the people for participation, the appropriation bill, people don't even know. Like, you see, they sit down and they decide, okay, this year we're going to construct schools, this year we're going to dig dams, this year we're going to do, they don't even give you the number, they don't even, confirm if that area already has enough schools. So what they need is hospitals. So we're not involved in that. And the moment, and also that is what leads to, projects being left halfway. How many projects do we have that are stalled right now? So many projects from even the previous government, and I'm certain that will be the case in this government. In fact, this government is still in office, but they still have stalled projects that they stopped, they even moved away from and went to others. How are you starting a new project when you have another project that you put billions of money and is just there sleeping, doing nothing, not benefiting the people at all? SGR was supposed to go up to Kisumu. Hadi wa leo haijai fika. There is nothing that is happening there. you know. So you see, the whole thing of not having, that is why also again I keep saying we need to have personalized, like itemized. We need to be involved and see, okay, so this year was, what is it that we need? We need, let's say, if it's schools in Nairobi County, we need schools in, let's say, Meru County, what they need is more boreholes dug and schools constructed, or, you know, agriculture boosted, so that, you know, since they're going to remove the school feeding programs, and Meru, some parts of Meru struggle with, you know, food and extreme levels of poverty, so that when they're able to produce now, at least kids can stay in school because they're getting food. So once we're able to have a conversation and raise our key priorities, then we're able to be able to hold them accountable, and also have feedback loop, feedback channels, whereby young people are also part of, they don't have to sit on the positions, but they can be like watchdogs. You were supposed to start constructing the stadium by end of, let's say a stadium in Gong Stadium. I saw the other day the young people were the ones who were trying to clear it out, you know, the shrubs. And it's a stadium that funds were set aside for. So let's say it's given 200 billion shillings to construct that. So we know in 2024, 2025, Gong Stadium is supposed to be completed. So we have young people who are holding all these offices, government offices, accountable. They are like the watchdog and reporting back to the people. So at the end of the month, everyone knows, the same way they're expecting the salary and taxes to be deducted, at the same time we're expecting feedback from the government. So what have they constructed? That again will also reduce this whole issue we're having of, I've been seeing people saying, kwani ICT hub ya Ruiru inakuanga wapi, because hardly do people know where that hub is, and who are these 10,000 people who have gotten the jobs. And it's a current, conversation that keeps popping and popping over and over. At the moment, we're able to know what is happening, and okay, so the stadium has been constructed in this month. They have constructed up to here. Okay, good. This way, and then if we can pick whether it's monthly or quarterly or semi-annually to report back to the people, but feedback channels need to happen, and that is why all these dialogues that have been happening, they don't yield any results, because there is no feedback channel. So if we go and have a conversation with someone and agree to do something, and there is no one who is going to track and check if that something was done, then it will just die. You will not know whether it was done or it was not done. So which again also brings these issues. Probably the government could have given jobs to those 10,000 people, but the feedback channel is really horrible. So the people don't even know, they cannot even confirm those 10,000 people, because they're like, if I talk to like my friend and the other friend, then there is no one who has benefited from the job. So how do you again come and convince people that people are benefiting from it? So we need to have feedback loopholes. Napita prevent channels. Napita prevent easy issues there. Politicians coming, when it's almost the end of their term, ana rush barabara yenye ilifaa construct na imekuwa ikisetiwa funds aside for the last 5 years, ndo ana rush barabara, ana rush sijui shule hapo, and then anakuja anaambia wada kijiji, si mnaona nilikuwa nafanya, so give me your votes again, then I'll come again, ndo nimalizie hii project. Yet that project had its fixed timeline that it was supposed to be done. So my key issue that I keep pushing is, Kenyans, we need to make this our business. We need to try get a conversation so that we're able to know our priorities in all the different areas, and then we can come up with a national action plan that every year, what was in the NAP, has it been achieved? And this, for the dialogue can happen with the help of the government or without the help of the government. Because, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Can you
Yes, I
land
can
so
hear.
that some speakers can have an opportunity?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So for me, if I am to push, I'm pushing for 3 things. Number one, let's have conversations so we're able to pick what our priorities are. What ultimatum are we giving the government? Because clearly the cake seems to be baked. The CSs have been passed and everything. So things are flowing. So we need to get a way forward. And the way forward first is have a conversation and identify our priorities and areas that need to be fixed. And number two, Kenyans come together, let all their expertise, like let's say the lawyers, they would understand matters, all acts that have been brought to do with legal matters, and they can chambua that and do public civic education. Let's say doctors and all that, they can come up with they can now be able to identify acts associated with the health sector and do civic education to the people, so that now people can be able to understand what is happening, and so goes to all other categories. So that is number two. And then number three, we need to have feedback channels so that to bridge the gap between the people and the government. If they have good feedback channels, then hatutakuwa tuna have to verify, because this will be information that we already know. So that is it for today.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on, sir.
Yes. So I just want to say that the Gen Z achieved a lot, and especially specifically even for today. If you see a government releasing the police and all the armory machine out on streets, it means it has performed. Because politically, when we are trying to check the performance of the demonstration, those are the things that we are going to look at. And in the history of Kenya, politics will never happen. It was dissolved. And now the opposition is also part of the government. That is the achievement, though it did not come to them directly. So for them, right now, as we are seeing, they are appearing as if they failed or what they want to do was not achieved. But to me, I think they've done greatly, even closer to 100%, because where they've reached, it took even maybe 10 years or some years for people like Matiba, Raila Odinga to lead the movement that changed the Moi philosophy. So the Gen Z now, let's not attack them, but we should assist them to learn from the past. And what are we supposed to learn from the past? They did not learn about the meaning of the movement. When we are talking about the movement like Gen Z, it also once happened like SARS in Nigeria and other movements. These movements, they don't last for long. And they don't allow people to form a political party because it's a consortium of people of different characters meeting because of one thing. So when you want to win, you hit within the short space of time, because when you spend more than 3 days or going onwards, you start reducing your force. That is why you discover that Gen Z, when they were coming, they were saying, see the old politicians. They say, we don't want to see Raila, we don't want to see everyone. So in politics, Gen Z can be the leaders of the movement, but they are not the ones who are going to enjoy. And they are not going to win if they don't have the support of these political gurus. So you see, Odinga was in the side of Gen Z. That is why he started that demonstration. And instead of capitalizing, taking him on the side, he was stolen by the Ruto regime. So that is why you discover that automatically they neutralize in one way or another the power of the Gen Z. Because even if you go to Nyanza, you go to Western, you go to Mombasa and whatever, there is a kind of neutrality because of some of these particular points. Gen Z should know that when you are dealing with the political matters, you may be the leader. You are going to capture your animal, but you may not be the one to eat it. It can be eaten by others. That is why the 200 and something people died. They are not going to enjoy in any way. So Gen Z, when they were supposed to take a position and consolidate, they were amazing us because they were told, come and talk. They refused. We want people to represent you. They refused. We want to meet there. They refused. So it becomes skeptical to the people who are on the ground. They don't know whether they are capable, because you see, when you are removing the government like that, without following the constitution, let's say you are saying Ruto must go without following the constitution, it may come a time when the country may face instability. So that was the fear of a lot of people. So the Gen Z could have said that, yes, of course, if we remove Ruto, we have got our stand in government. People could have seen it, then they could allow it to move on. Or they could have said when the people died and when Ruto wanted to talk to them, could have said, now we want a referendum. We want to effect this and that. So it appears some of those things were lost. So my point before I land is that Gen Z should know that when they are fighting, they can even take part of their enemies to be part of the group so that they can move forward. Imagine if they taken Raila Odinga to be on spot, then Ruto was going to go within some seconds. But when they started, they thought they become excited. They thought that they are the only one. So we saw Miguna and the other professors coming. Now Missy Walker is also coming to other side. So in politics, your enemy is your friend, especially when you are fighting your other enemy. So that is why I'm saying to the Gen Z, I know you have done great. Don't lose heart. Don't appear as if you are being subdued, because historically there is no movement like this which lasted for even 4 days. I think this is quite an example. And you are inspiring across Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Nigeria, in Uganda. Things are starting coming up. So what you have done, you have won. Don't worry, relax, but time shall come. But when time comes, hit when it is hot. Because when you want to wait for some days, that's when you start losing power. So let me leave this debate so that I hear from others. Then we can also share ideas. But that is my thinking, that Gen Z wanted to take the power outside the constitution, which was also going to be detrimental to the country, because you see, as a country which is going, when the elders see that the peace is coming now, going away, then they will go and regroup, like what has happened. So the Gen Z, I salute you, but when you are fighting, you are not Kenya. Kenya is everyone, even the elderly people. They need your support, because even if you were going to take away from Ruto, you are going for election, and you don't have party structures. Those people with party structures, Misioka, Raila Odinga, and other people, you need them. So that is what you should know, that when you are fighting for others and you are not fighting for yourself. But otherwise, well done. Thank you very much.
Mnyamwezi, are you there? Mnyamwezi?
I'm here, bro. I'm here.
Yeah. Can you add some more speakers so that they can speak if it's possible?
Nobody's interested in speaking. Everyone just want to listen to you people. So you better be entertaining.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I think Miriam and George. Where's Miriam? George? Do you have something to say, George?
Mariam
Concerning
ran away. This was Mariam's forum, but she's running away from it. I don't know.
does George have something to speak about today's Mandamano? Fabish is on. Fabish, can you go on, please?
I don't think he is interested in. I don't think so. Even when
Fabish.
you look at the Jamotron, what he has said, I don't think so. I don't think he's interested.
Okay, Fabish is on. Fabish, karibu brother.
Oh, asante sana. I was there earlier on, alafu I think it can crash. Thank you, Mnyamwezi, for taking your time and bringing it back again. Yes, I see now we have a new question that Nane Nane has achieved what? Nane Nane has achieved a lot because we have already still sent the statement. We have pronounced ourselves, telling the president that we are not yet settled. And that is why today, the Nairobi CBD was not business as usual. So to tell him that things are not okay, things are not right, the country is still not at ease. To tell the president the message that he got today, even if he will pretend that he will not listen or he will not see what is happening, but he knows that things are not okay. That this what we were agitating is not the kind of mongrel government of system where you don't know where is the tail, where is the head. You don't know which one is opposition, which one is the government. That is not what Kenyans were asking him to do. What Kenyans were asking the president to do, he has not yet done. And he still have a task ahead. You don't govern people with guns. You don't use uniform to rule people. Watu wanaongozwa because they have chosen to be led. That is why we are choosing the government. And the contract that we are giving him for 5 years, it depends on his performance. Even in every organization, you are hired, you sign a contract, but that contract is progressive. If you don't perform, that contract can be cancelled anytime. What Kenyans are asking him is pull your socks, or we are going to cancel that contract, because Article 1 inaturuhusu kwamba hiyo contract tunaweza cancel na tukaamua kutumia wenyewe. It is not over until it is over. So now today, if that is what will answer the question, is that we have achieved, we have sent a statement. Ajue kwamba it is not time for making a merry. Let him not open champagne. Kazi bado ipo. I think the whole world wamejionea. So going forward, discussions will still continue among the Gen zote. Different strategies is still going to be applied. There are a lot of strategies, even as we are speaking now. We know also that there are some matters going in our courts. Tunajua pia tujui vile determination itakuwa. So we are going to use every possible means to make sure that William Ruto listen what Kenyans want. Tunataka a corrupt-free government, a corrupt-free country. Tunataka a country where it serves people. We want leaders that they listen to people, na watu wote wanahudumiwa vile inafaa, watu wote wanahudumiwa bila ubaguzi. We want to see our life becoming affordable. Tunataka kuona price of commodities. Tunataka kuona injustices being addressed, and this one need to be addressed as soon as possible. The reason injustices, even before we go to the historical injustices, those youths that were shot by the police, the atrocities, the police that commit these atrocities, Kenyans are not going to relent until William Ruto bring his people to book, to face the law. That is what Kenyans are talking about. You cannot call us to the table tuzungumze wakati we address injustices. Now some other Kenyans, they are talking on low tones because wanaogopa repercussion. That is not the country we envisage for. Himself alikuwa anaenda akisema is a champion of democracy. He promised us that there will be no extrajudicial killings, there will be no kidnappings. But what we are witnessing is the highest extrajudicial killings that we have ever witnessed in the history of our country. Now, going the way forward, we are still pushing him that these issues must be addressed first, even before we talk other things. We did not ask for positions. Gen Zs, millennials, and the majority of Kenyans, they were not fighting for positions. They were fighting for equality of everybody. They were fighting for quality life. We talk of wastages, za pesa za serikali. You have never done anything on that. Tunaona juzi anaenda anamleta mtu mwenye ako na kazi, a member of parliament who is serving is a parliamentary term. Now we have to use a lot of money to fill in that position. Was that necessary? And there you are telling us that you have applied austerity measures. We have seen even the CS nominees, actually, that they have just been confirmed now, the new CS. They are still driving, big guzzlers. Where is the austerity measures being applied there? So the unconstitutional offices that we talked about, they are still existing. So even after we raised all these things, after ameua watu, after watu wamemwaga damu innocent people by asking questions, you cannot even do one. So going the way forward, there is no way that this country things are going to be normal. It is impossible because questions have never been answered. William Ruto has never addressed the social issues that we have. You cannot address the social issues with guns, bringing police on the street. You have never solved anything. You don't solve by using force. You solve by making sure that you address because you have that capacity. We donated that power for you to address the challenges and the issues that we want. So, watu wasifikirie kwamba ati sababu sasa leo maandamano was suppressed, ati it is over, or now Ruto is going to dine and do a merry. You still have a very big task ahead. We will still continue asking those questions and demanding that the rights of every Kenyan be respected, that Kenyans deserve dignity. We will still continue asking. Kwa hivyo, there is nothing wrong kwamba hata 9-9, 10-10, even there is no reason for us to celebrate Jamhuri Day, when actually we don't have that Jamhuri. When Jamhuri is only for the few individuals. So, there are a lot of things that is happening. Naruto bado haja address even one. Wastages, you have never come on a clear path to tell us that you have addressed. Calling us for dialogue. Dialogue for what? The constitution is there, need only to be implemented. Things that we have raised does not need dialogue. Hahitaji watu watatu kukaa kwa room kukula njugu na kahawa kuzungumzia. We have seen a lot of dialogues in this country. Mulifanya ile ilikuwa inaitwa NADCO. What is the outcome? Almost 2 years down the line. There was the outcome to form a mongrel government, to kill the opposition. What have we achieved? Even the Kofi Annan, until now, it has never been realized, it has never been achieved. I think there has never been a bigger dialogue platform like ile ilifanywa na Kofi Annan, National Accord, apart from the constitution that we have. And even this constitution, it is not respected until now. So, Kenyans is going in the wrong direction. We are going in the wrong path. And our driver seems to be drunkard with power. So we need to bring him back to soberness so that he can understand, or he can just leave the steering wheel to the person that can steer it. Mambo ya kusema kwamba ati when you want to dialogue, you have to make leaders, you have to bring leaders, you have to. It is not necessary. Kenyans are not asking for position of leadership. We already do our election, we have leaders. What we are telling you is to do your work, do your job. Why should we need a Gen Z leader to go and do what? To go and sit where? So, Gen Z leader ambao sasa ata-occupy ofisi gani? Not unless you create a vacancy in that your office, because what Gen Z and millennials are asking, it is a national issues that can only be addressed by the head of state. And if he's not capable of addressing, we still insisting that you must quit and leave other people that they are capable, they have willingness to address the issues. So today, what Ruto shows us a middle finger. Kwamba when we are telling that it is not enough, you have never do anything. Anakuja kutuletea mapolisi using our taxpayers' money to kill and maim us. That is showing us middle finger. So that is my take. I'm sure Kenyans will not rest. For the few individuals ambao wamekuja wanadanganywa ati kwamba tumewapatia CS. Ukienda coast tuseme umepatia CS Joe What will Joe address? That one ministry can never address the issues Coastarians are raising. The issue of unemployment, the issue of injustices, the issue of corruption. People are being rendered landless because of corruption. They cannot acquire their title deeds. So by what to do, this overexcitement with time, just 1 month, it will succeed and everybody will come back to the senses. And we will still go and ask the same questions. Thank you.
Fabish. Fabish.
Yes, yes.
For the last 6 weeks, do we think the Gen Zs have achieved anything? And if yes, what's the way forward? For as you have seen today, umeona hii maandamano tulikuwa tumepanga vizuri, tukang'ang'ana. Some of us have put on a lot of effort on through finances, through public participation, but unaona venye kumekuwa. What do you think we can do so that this thing, because we need this thing to become successful, what do you think we need to put more effort so that we can as you said, we need to bring Ruto on board. What do you think we can do more so that we can achieve this? Kwa sababu nimeona maybe you have some views we can, if we bring them together, tunaweza achieve this thing. What do you think us to do? We can do? Kwa sababu we haven't done anything today as we had expected.
Thank you so much. First, you ask a very pertinent question. What have we achieved for the 6 weeks that we have been on the street? I can for surely tell you that we have achieved a lot. Number one, it has helped us identify where there is a problem. We have identified now that the problem is in the political class because of what Raila did. That is one. Number two, it has even made a lot of people, to forgive themselves. Those who elected UDA, Kenya Kwanza, now they can forgive themselves. Wajue kwamba, actually there were no, they did not do any mistake. Because if they were given opportunity to go for the letter, it was not better. So these 6 weeks first, it has helped to identify the problem of Kenya. That one, our problem are the political elites, the political class that have hijacked this country. Now, what should we do better? What we need now to do better is actually to go back to the grassroots. We should continue educating and doing proper civic education. Let everyone understand, because what we see now that we are still lacking is that we still have a lot of masses that don't have proper information on how a good governance is of beneficial to the country. We need to do civic education to educate our people to steer away from the, these political or partisan tribal lines and all that. We should make people understand that it is not because wale watu wanasema ati ni mtu wetu ako pale. It is not just a matter of ni mtu wetu, but what are you achieving as an individual, as an household? Are you getting a proper education for your children or for yourself? Are you getting better medication? Are you having an equal opportunity like any other person, that when you complete your studies, you can be guaranteed to get to work and a proper work without someone fast tracking for you, without connections, without bribing? Are we going to make sure that we have a nation that our security is guaranteed, that you can work everywhere, that you can have a free speech without any repercussion? So what we need now to continue is to do civic education, and we should not deviate from that point of our demands, that we are still demanding for a better governance. But now we should continue educating our older generation in the societies, people who have already given up, because even development once. That is why they went to opposition, so that they can like pile pressure on us so that we can give up. Now to say, okay, Aiduru, wacha tukae tugoje 2027. If we are waiting for 2027, nothing will happen. They are the ones that have machineries. They are the ones that are controlling on how we are going to vote. You know, they are the ones that they will be doing procurement. They are the ones that have the system. So we will not achieve anything as long as this political class is still controlling this country. This is what we are fighting for now, is emancipation. We have first to emancipate these people that they have hijacked our country, so that now we can be able to do other discussion and have a better governance. Hii hawa watu hatuwezi kusaidika kwa kura. That is a daydream. That is a daydream. Hata tukatengeza political formation ya kiasi gani. They are the ones that have the system. So what we are saying is we need a overhaul of the system. We need to change the system and bring a new system ambayo ina fit for this generation. So,
Unaona ikiwezekana kweli?
To answer your question,
Unaona ikiwezekana?
Inawezekana. What we just need is proper civic education. Unajua, for very long time sisi tumeachia maisha yetu our political class. Wao ndio wana address issues zetu. Unapata hata siku za nyuma zilikuwa kukiwa na jambo tunasema waacha Raila aulize. Waacha Raila atuambie. You know, ulikuwa unapata hata watu wanaenda maandamano hata wajui kwamba wanaandamana sababu ya nini, because just Raila amesema tuandamane. But now the narrative have changed. Watu ambao wako kwa street, they are not expecting any penny, they are not being funded, but wanajipigania. Hiyo tayari ni kuonyesha kwamba inawezekana. Now we are not on the street kupigania mtu. So sasa Raila amekuja vizuri na ametuonyesha sasa kwamba problem is not only Ruto. Problem is the whole political class that we have. We need to do the overall. Inawezekana. Ile kitu iko ni kuwa bado tunahitaji kufanya proper civic education from the grassroots. Watu wajue. Watu wa Eldoret wajue kwamba si sababu kwamba ni mtu wetu ako pale. Mtu wetu ako pale lakini anafanya mess. Hakuna school fees ya mtu wenu ambao utaenda kulipa. Mtu wenu ana university zake ambao mtasema ati tutapeleka hapa, si tutalipa less sababu ni mtoto wako pale. Even the employment ambao unaona kwamba anasema Ruto is being accused of tribalism. Yes, ameweka kweli, you know, many people of these tribes, but even those people, you have to be connected. Not every Kalenjin will just walk with his CV to the office and get a job. You have to have connection. You have to know someone. You have to be connected with Sudi. You have to be connected with Farouk Kibet. You have to be connected with maybe Boshole, you know. You have to be connected with the Kosgei in State House before you get those employment. So this is civic education that is needed to those people. Kuambia kwamba usione jina Kibet iko pale, usione jina Ruto iko pale, ukafikiria tu kwamba it is working the back for you sababu you share the same name. No, bado kuna unyanyasaji. So inawezekana. What we need now is to continue discussing in these spaces, discussing in our WhatsApp groups, tuende mashinani, tuzidi kuwapatia watu civic education. Lakini ikiwa tutakaa tu tuseme ati tunangojea kura, ikiwa saizi kupata IDs ni shida. And this is how they are going to make sure that they are turning round. Inafika hata hiyo wakati hiyo, utapata karibu maybe 15% of our society hawana IDs. How are they going to vote? Bado tujiongea vote manipulation. So lazima to deal with system. It is not easy thing to do, but that is the only option that we have to do. We have to face reality. There is no other way out. There is no other way out. After even hata tukimpatia ujamaa 10 years, after 10 years, they're going to regroup themselves, watakuja with another one, and it will not be better. We have been crying since hata Kibaki, because they are the same people. Not unless we uproot them. It is not comfortable thing for us to do. It is not easy for us to do, but that is the only thing that we can do. That is the only option. We don't have any other way out. So we must brace ourselves and continue pressing. Our grandfathers who worked for independence, they did not achieve it in 6 months. They did not achieve it in 1 year. They fought for about 15 years. So even us, we were not expecting that we could have just achieved, you know, people who have been in the system for 60 years that we are going to achieve for 1 week or for 1 day or for 2 months. It will take a lot of strategies, a lot of planning, you know, a lot of knowledge, a lot of energy before we achieve it. Thank you.
A question. I want you to tell us in point blank, what is the problem or the crime of the political elite? In specifically, I want you to talk in terms of Raila Odinga, whom you talked much about. What is his problem? The highlight maybe with the constitution or any legal document that you have.
Can you take just 2 minutes because we have George and Odero who wants to speak as well? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll be very short. The problem that we have, as I put it on earlier, is that our country has been hijacked by the political elites. There is no difference between William Ruto. There is no difference between Raila Odinga. I give you just one example. Do you know, out of the tax that we are paying, 3%, that is the minimum, is given to the political parties. You need to go and look at that in the constitution, you know, and in the political parties act. They're receiving a lot of money. And that is why you see in Kenya, we have more than 50 political parties. Even those that they come together, they form a coalition, they cannot agree, you know, to form one political party because everyone
how this is a problem to Odinga? How is it a problem to Odinga to get that 3%?
Now, you ask what is the problem of Odinga? The problem of Odinga is that he's very selfish when it comes, he put his own selfish interest first before the interest of our nation. And we have seen the pattern for a very long time. And now it has come to manifest very clearly the action that he did recently. That he had been pushing. He was the one that he came out immediately after election and told us that Zakayo must go. In fact, the name Zakayo, he was the one that christened him. But all of a sudden, Zakayo became a very pure person in his thinking. Because what? Because he had achieved his selfish ego. We saw
So,
even
why
last time.
Why can't you take him to the court to check about that selfishness? Because some of these issues that we are talking about, they don't have legal grounds. I've heard you quoting the constitution exactly that 3% is given to the opposition. You are blaming Odinga. I've heard you saying Odinga is a chameleon, but when he was against Ruto, you did not complain. Now he is supporting Ruto, you are complaining. So I think let's put points clear here, because we are talking about things which is going to affect the future generation. We want to know the problem of the political elite. They have killed people. They have stolen money. I want to know in connection to Raila Odinga, because being a political chameleon is constitutional.
Listen, George. Now, when we are talking of a constitution, the reason why we are on the street, it is because the actors that they need to help us implement this constitution are mutilating it. They are raping it, including Raila Odinga himself. Even when we talk of corruption, Raila Odinga have been in the forefront of sanitizing the corrupt. I give you an example. Oparanya, that he just gave out to be a CS. EACC found him to be guilty, and they are proposing for him to be taken to court. But Raila has come for his aid to protect him. So what we are saying is we don't have a political will, you know.
But there is a problem. Oparanya, if he has not been convicted, found guilty, there is nothing which has happened. Because you see, tomorrow these things can turn even against you. They will tell that someone is corrupt when he is given a position. But prove it. Was he arrested? Was he taken to court?
Listen.
We want evidence, not to just to talk about anything. Tell us that Oparanya stole this. There is a conviction. There is a docket which was taken. To give us evidence. So far, you have not told me what the problem of Odinga and the problem of Oparanya. Give us evidence.
The evidence is this: there are institutions in this country that they are mandated to do a certain work. One of the institutions is the EACC, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. It is not me that is accusing Oparanya. It is the institution that is paid by the taxpayers' money, those offices, that they came out and they say we have a case against Oparanya. It is in the public domain. And the commission is proposing. So how can you say that it is not just that we are just talking like rumors? These are the institution that has bestowed for the work of dealing with corruption, and they have come out clearly. They did not mention other names. They mentioned Oparanya.
Fabish, Oparanya was very well cleared by EACC, and Oparanya himself on the national camera akasema hajawahi andikisha any statement, hajawahi itwa andike any statement on
Hiyo ni
any.
misinformation. EACC haijaclear, ile kitu iliclear ni ODPP, Office of the ODPP. Now, Office of the ODPP is not there to investigate corruption crime.
The commissioner ya kuvet ministers inaandikianga EACC iwapatie guidance ya any appointed member, because they don't apply for those oppositions.
You need to get your facts right. You need to get your facts right.
Appointed by the president.
Yes.
They are appointed by the president who run the ministries. Before the commission ifanye any interview for any member, they write to EACC verify right. That person, is he eligible to be interviewed for that? And they wrote right. To EACC wakasema Oparanya ako very clear, hana issue. Unless from where I'm seated ukona any evidence ya kuonyesha kwamba Oparanya akona kesi ya kujibu kwa EACC.
Yes. Now listen, it is not.
And remember, this minute as we are talking, Oparanya has been sworn in.
Yes.
Akue CAS.
Tommy, I want you guys to continue with your conversation. I didn't want to interfere with you, but you need to do your research. Of course, Oparanya is still under investigation. EACC has made it very clear. Now, there's a disconnect between DPP and EACC offices.
And the EACC.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that he's been cleared. No, he's still under investigation, Tommy. But kindly just do that research before arguing.
Miriam, welcome. I heard this is your space. Karibu sana. We have been waiting for you to endelea na space. Karibu sana.
So Tommy, as Miriam put, ndio nilikuwa nakwambia, that is what even is bringing the rage, because Oparanya, in fact, it is even the EACC itself that they wrote to the Parliament Commission on Vetting and say that we do not approve this nominee because he have a case with us. What did Sholay said? Sholay said that EACC don't have power to approve a nominee. When the constitution mandates, in fact, everybody that is looking for a public work, unaitishwa good conduct from the DCI, unaitishwa KRA clearance, unaitishwa a certificate from the EACC. And now here is a constitutional lawyer like Sholay, who is a right person of William Ruto, telling us that EACC don't have power. So these are the things that we are telling you, that these leaders, these actors, they don't have spirit. They don't have the will to implement this constitution. That is the rate that we are talking, and that is what is making us say that this regime, this political class, they cannot help this country, because even if we come with constitution that is made from heaven, we still need a good actors that they will help us implement and interpret it the way it should be. So that's what we are saying. Even election cannot solve our problem.
Fabish, I do have a quick question, even as you're proceeding, and I don't know whether Odera has spoken, but I've been wondering, what do you think is stopping we have star lawyers in Kenya and the Law Society of Kenya, and what is stopping them from filing this in court? I mean, we've seen that these guys are disregarding the constitution. We don't even know legally whether EACC is allowed to stop this vetting of a candidate who has a case or not. I don't know. It's such a very funny issue. But what is stopping people from going to court to stop Kina Ruto and company from breaking the law?
First is that there is nobody that is stopping anybody from court. But the problem is that we have a government that does not respect even the decision of the court.
No, wait. No, but I've seen the court. For example, it stopped him from using the other bill, the 2023 bill, and he stopped. He's not using it. I've seen the court actually stopping the president from doing a couple of things, and he's had to go by those whatever he's been stopped from doing.
Yeah.
So we can't say the reason why
No.
we're not going to court is because the president doesn't respect
No.
the judicial system.
Yes,
I don't think that
No.
is true. So I'm asking you, what is stopping? Why do
you
you
are very
think? What apart from that reason you're giving me, what is stopping people from going to court to stop him from breaking the
You are
law?
very right. I will answer you this way. Even as you are speaking now, maybe later Wakili Ndegwa Njiru will be on this platform. I will try to bring him, and you will hear. Even as we are talking now, there are some. The case has been taken to court, and we are still waiting for the verdict of the court. So the lawyers.
Which case exactly?
Eh?
Which case exactly has been taken to court?
This one for Oparanya.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
it is ongoing, and later we'll hear. First, I want to commend the LSK. LSK have been in the forefront, trying also to do legal battles. But to answer your question, that this government have been respecting the court orders. I want to tell you that they choose which orders to respect and which orders not to. Like, for example, the issue of CAS. Do you know it was until after the protest, Ruto had put them on standby, even after the court had pronounced themselves. We even have the issue of CDF, that the court pronounced it to be illegal and constitutional, but they tried to tailor it and take it through the back door. So there are a lot of things that the court pronounced themselves, but it is not respected. They are not respecting those court orders. So that is why, even as we are doing a legal battle, we must also do the social, pressure for this government. And as long as this political elite, political regime is there, nothing can be achieved in this country. So that is why I was answering the person that was telling me about Oparanya and Odinga. If Odinga in ODM, there are millions of Kenyans, about 8 million, 10 millions, who are members of ODM, people who are qualified more than Oparanya, to do the job that Oparanya can do. Why should you bring somebody that is of a questionable character, even in the first place? If you have a goodwill.
Yes, you know what is happening.
Sorry, let me ask you, had Odera spoken?
Odero hasn't spoken. I haven't spoken. Only Fabish and
Is that so, Tom?
Resp has spoken. I haven't also spoken.
Okay, then proceed. And Odera, are you there? Or do we drop you?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, fine. You can speak after Tommy.
Thank you very much, Munyamwezi, for this opportunity. I just want to appreciate.
This is Mariam. Munyamwezi is the gentleman.
Oh, sorry. Miriam, thank you for this opportunity. I want to articulate a few points. We have achieved a lot. As the question is, has Nane Nane achieved? Nane Nane has achieved what? I want to say we have achieved a lot, but where we're moving, ndio kuna giza. Where we're heading to, kuna giza. Why kuna giza? I want to say one thing or two. Number one, where we have reached at this moment, we need to have leaders. Why do I say that? We need to have leaders, and the leaders should not be physical leaders. We should have leaders, but on the space. This thing will be achieved, and our goal for Ruto Must Go will be achieved when we do everything on the space openly. No one should sit in a room or in a table, on the table, wapewe kitu kidogo, wanyamaze. We should be doing this thing on the space as it has been for the last 6 weeks. We have achieved a lot, but now ni kama tumeonyesha adui wetu kila kitu. So ako
subiri kidogo,
very ready to attack.
Kidogo Tommy, unanisikia?
Yes, please.
Umesema your goal is Ruto must go.
Yeah.
Did I hear you right?
Yes, please.
So what does Ruto must go mean to you? Is it possible for you to interpret that? Is it a slogan now? Or what is it? Just can you break it down for us? What does Ruto must go mean?
Ruto must go. We need to bring back our country. We need to see good governance, free corruption country, a country where anyone who has maybe kama umesomea kitu, you can get job for that what you have learned for. We don't want a country, mimi kwa sababu niko na say in the government, I can bring my nephew or my niece or my niece to any position kama hajasomea. This is what is happening right now.
Okay, good. Wait. So, did this happen in the Uhuru? The problems you've just stated or highlighted, did you have the same problem during Uhuru?
It has happened.
The 10 years of Uhuru?
Yeah, it has been happening. Now we want to bring back.
Did we have the same problem during? Wait, did you have the same problem during the Kibaki regime?
This has been happening. That's what I meant.
Okay, good. So if it's been happening, then how does Ruto going help us? How will it change anything? If it has happened during Uhuru, if it has happened during Kibaki, if it happened during Moi, how does removing
This is a different generation.
Ruto?
This is a different generation, very learned, digital generation. We know what is happening everywhere in every corner of this country. So what we had into ile kitu tunataka for this moment ni ku bring back the country. Why do I say so? Why do we say so? The government imejitolea na ikatoka in open kwa wananchi ikasema 2 billion have been being stolen every day in this country. We want to bring back people who can ziba the mianya. That's where we're heading to. But we cannot.
Sasa, lakini swali langu sasa, and it's good you're taking me home, Tommy, because my problem is this. Unasema tulete watu ambao wataziba hiyo mianya. I don't know whether mwanya has a plural to being mianya. So is it the people wenye wanaziba ama ni system yetu, like the policies and whatnot that will help us to ziba those mwanyas?
The policy, na Ruto hataki kufuata the policy.
But are the policies in place? That do you have strict policies?
We have very nice very strict and nice policies, but you know the government, those people are on power this moment, they think they are above the laws. That's the problem. If they are given, if there is a court order, these people can't follow the court orders. They can do their own things.
Imagine, Tommy, let me ask you, because we are still on the policies part. Imagine if EACC, okay,